It was the first day of the week, at early dawn. Jesus is risen. He is risen indeed. Two women arrived at the tomb to prepare the body with spices. But Jesus wasn't there. He's risen. An angel came down from heaven to greet the women and share with them the good news. They were perplexed and fell to their faces. The angel shared with them, "Remember how Jesus told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and be crucified and on the third day rise again." The angel ascended back into heaven. The women remembered his words, and returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and to all the rest. Now on that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and talking with each other about all the things that had happened. 7 miles is a long walk. While they were walking along and discussing the things that had happened, Jesus appeared. Of course, they didn't know it was him. And he said to them, "What are you discussing with each other while you walk along?" They stood still, looking sad. Then one of them said, whose name was Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who doesn't know the things that have taken place in these days?" He asked them, "What things?" They replied, "The things about Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and leaders handed him over to be condemned to death and crucified him. We had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel." You're not going to believe us, but some women told us that Jesus is alive. He is risen from the dead. But Jesus told them, "Well, I believe you. Isn't that why the Messiah came?" They came near the village which they had been traveling towards, and they urged Jesus to stay with them and break bread and share a meal with them, and he couldn't refuse. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were open and they recognized him. They knew that it was Jesus eating with them and dining with them. And he vanished before their eyes. That same hour they got up and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and their companions gathered together. They were saying, "The Lord has risen indeed, and he has appeared to us." Then they told what had happened on the road, and how he had been made known to them in the breaking of bread. So now when you dine with the Lord in Holy Communion, it is your job to also share the good news that Jesus is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia.